Ladies and gentlemen, I heard about the story of Jordan Neely. And, I was shocked when I heard about how this Marine was arrested and they released him. So there's a lot of divide and outrage on this one, but isn't that America? When it comes down to social justice or social issues, America is always divided. I don't even know why you call yourself United States. Can you please explain to everybody where you're united? Because we're failing to see it. It must be one of those mysteries of the earth that nobody will ever see. So, anyway, Marine says he acted in self defense when Jordan Neely aggressively threatened him and other passengers on the New York City subway and never intended to harm the homeless schizophrenic who later died in the hospital. Well, if you put anybody in a chokehold for 15 minutes, yeah, they're going to have a problem physically. It more than likely won't make it. All right. So the former Marine put 30-year-old Jordan Neely in a chokehold on a subway train in New York prior to his death on Monday, released a statement in which he said that he acted in self defense. Well, let's skip over that because y'all say the same thing over and over and over. So, anyway, earlier this week, Daniel Penny was involved in a tragic incident in New York City subway, which ended in the death of Jordan Neely. We first would like to express, on the behalf of Daniel Penny, our condolences to those close to Mr. Neely. Mr. Neely had a documented history. So he had mental illness. He was schizophrenic, and it was well documented that he had mental illness. Now, they said it actually got worse after the death of his mother. That's when he really started going downhill. Now, we see a lot of these stories on mental illness, but the bottom line is America have it where, these folks are adults. So they can't make them be treated for the mental illness or be on meds. They pretty much do whatever they want. And unfortunately, not all, but some of them do become a danger out in public. Some do. So anyway, they said Mr. Neely aggressively threatened Daniel Penny and other passengers with the help of others, acted to protect themselves until help arrived. Okay. Now, the problem I have in this, all right, so let's say you did all of this. Did anybody call 911? Because I don't see that anywhere in the story. For too long, those suffering from mental illness have been treated with indifference. Yes. Yes. They see Black men and women and even our children with mental illness as a threat. So when they come around those kind of men, women, and children, they always take on this position of, "Oh, I had to defend myself." And they don't see that there is something going on with this person. And unfortunately, America has not done a good job in handling people with mental illness, period. It was just a few weeks ago, I did one on 988, how people that are having a mental health crisis, they call 988 and they're told they will get back to them in a few days. How are you going to get back to somebody in a few days that may be suicidal? Please explain. You know, they have always done a terrible job with it. Terrible. And they certainly have never really fully educated the public on spotting somebody with, having a mental crisis. See, he's somebody with real mental documented mental health issues, well documented. He doesn't have it like many of you. You commit a crime and then all of a sudden you're mentally ill. No, he didn't have that. He had the real thing. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for too long, those suffering from mental illness have become a threat or indifferent. We hope that out of this awful tragedy will come a new commitment by our elected officials to address the mental health crisis on our streets and subways, it concluded. The statement was issued through a law firm on Friday evening. So, the case involving the former Marine and the 30-year-old homeless, and they said he was a Michael Jackson impersonator. Jordan Neely is likely to go to a grand jury hearing for consideration on criminal charges. It is not known when the grand jury would be convening or what charges the district attorney Alvin Bragg is likely to pursue, reports NBC News. According to a separate report from ABC New York, the case is likely to be heard as early as next week. Really? The man who put Neely in a chokehold has been named as Daniel Penny, 24 years old, from Long Island. Y'all, it is really racist over on Long Island. And I'm not exaggerating. Anybody from New York will tell you many people steer clear of that area. You know, ABC report notes that it is typical for prosecutors to take their time in complex cases before impaneling the jury. Detectives in the case have spoken to around 6 witnesses who saw the disturbance and are seeking to talk with around 4 or 5 more. Penny has been questioned by police and released. According to reports, he said that he did not intend to kill Neely and had been trying to restrain him until police arrived. Well, if you're trying to restrain somebody, you may not want to grab them around the neck to restrain them. So, anyway, earlier this week, the medical examiner ruled that Neely's death was a homicide, but it remains to be seen if a grand jury will see it as such a criminal act. Yeah, because you're going to make sure you find the kind of people that don't see it as a criminal act. So, oh boy, Friday afternoon marked the third day in a row of protests calling for Penny's arrest. Yeah, I still don't understand how he got arrested and immediately released. I promise you, if that was a black man that did that to a white man on a train, he would be in jail. They would be finding charges out of the woodwork. All right, so demonstrators displayed signs for justice for Jordan Neely, and being poor is not a crime. Organizers of local protests called the act a lynching and an example of white vigilantism against victims of color. And I'm not down with that, but they have that in the article. All right, so y'all, the New York City Mayor Eric Adams cited mental health issues plays a lot of a role in the incidents that occur up in New York. And it does. It occurs all over the country, but it just seems that black men, women, and children with mental illness seems to end up dead more than anyone else that got it. That's all I'm saying. So on Friday afternoon, Neely's family called for Penny's arrest, asking if they want him behind bars. The family is outraged at what happened, said Lennon Edwards, one of the attorneys. So he told TMZ the family feels like the justice system is failing them at this moment. It has failed all of us. Okay. It's not designed to get justice for us. It's never worked that way and it never will. You know, it's just like the Bible scripture. They hold themselves not guilty. No matter what they do to us, they hold themselves not guilty, just like it says in the Bible. So that's how it's easy for us to identify who they are. So it took too long, really, for there to be a determination that it was a homicide. It was clear from the beginning. You look at the video, it tells you that. The coroner's office came back and said the death was by compression on the neck. That's clear. You see the chokehold. Edwards said the video is extremely distressing for the family to watch. Yeah, it's distressing for anybody to watch. For real. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tragedy, but the way they released him immediately to me is a sign that they intend on letting him go. You know, if he does get charged, it'll be whatever minimal sentence they could possibly give him. So we shall see what happens in this one. I'll definitely keep my eye on this story. But yes, this is really truly a tragedy for real. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.